Welcome back to Sunbelt Conference Basketball Media Days. We're now joined by Troy, the Trojans, under Coach Scott Cross in his third year with the Trojans, but a long-time coach in the Sunbelt Conference. We're also joined by student-athlete Zay Williams, a senior forward from Birmingham, Alabama. Coach, we'll begin with opening remarks from Coach Cross, and then we'll take questions for both Coach and for Zay. Coach, if you would, please give us an opening statement.
Sure, yeah, we're just super excited. I mean, what a great year for Sunbelt basketball with the addition of the 4 new teams. I think the conference is in a great place. I think the Sunbelt's going to surprise a lot of people, and just getting into conference play, it's going to be a dogfight, but it sure is going to be fun this year, and we can't wait to get it started.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now take questions for Coach Cross and for senior forward Zay Williams. For those in the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand and wait for a microphone to come to you, and please state your name and affiliation before you ask your question. And for those of you joining us on Zoom, please type your question into the chat, and I'll read those out loud. Coach, first question. Your team won as many games last year as the previous 2 years combined. What was the difference last year in possibly than over previous teams?
I think defensively we finally got to that point. So we were very good defensively. We did a great job rebounding the basketball. So when you do those two things at a high level, you have a chance in every single game. So that was the biggest difference, is just making that stride on the defensive end of the floor. And so we signed some really good players that transferred in that helped. We had a lot of returners. We had guys like Zay Williams. We had 2 fifth-year seniors and Khalil Waters and Nick Stampley that had kind of been there, done that. So we're finally kind of getting the culture in place of where we wanted it. And, it did translate. We didn't accomplish all of our goals, but we did accomplish some of our goals. And we definitely have a little bit of momentum going into next year.
Zay, what do you feel was the difference last year? And Coach mentioned momentum going into this season. Do you think that will help catapult you this year?
Yes, sir. I think we have great momentum going into this season. Last year, I think we was better defensively. We was all bought into what Coach was teaching every day, and the culture, and we can tell the culture was finally changing.
Coach, you've got 12 players. You had 12 players last year that played double-figure minutes. You're able to play a lot of guys. How much will that help you going into this year?
Well, I mean, it helped a lot last year, obviously, dealing with COVID. You never know who's going to be out or in. This day and age, there's a lot of injuries as well. Guys go down. You have to have somebody that's ready to play. So it helped us in those areas. At times it probably hurt because everybody wants to play 30 minutes. And, when you're playing 10, 11, 12 guys, it's hard to do that. But the biggest thing, there wasn't much separation between the guys that were starting and the guys that were backing them up. So, every single one of those guys last year on that roster, we believed in them. We felt like they had a role and could help us. And so we did give them the opportunity in the game. This year, I think the rotation will be a little bit smaller. We don't have the COVID seniors. Last year, we had 15 scholarship guys. We're back down to 13. We'll probably redshirt a guy or two. So I can see the rotation maybe being a little bit closer to 10 guys, maybe with an 11th being a post player that can play either position when one of the guys gets in foul trouble.
Coach, you lost 4 of your top 6 scorers from last year, but you lost a key performer in Effie Odeji. How do you replace a guy like that?
Well, you're looking at him right here, Zay Williams. We slide him from the 4 to the 5. He'll play some at the 4 as well, but we'll go 5 out offensively, allow our guys like Zay, so skilled, shot 40% from the three-point line. When a guy his size can shoot like that, it draws the defense out, and so it presents some, matchup problems. We're going to have to be great defensively. We're going to have to fly around. I think we are longer, more athletic than last year. We'll be able to play at a faster tempo. So it'll be a little bit different, but the same, toughness, defensive aspects, we have to be the same thing this year. I like what I'm seeing so far in practice. And, we have a great leader in Zay Williams helping us institute our culture.
Zay, Coach talks about you being a leader. Is it more pressure or is it more opportunity for you this year?
I would say more opportunity, just being able to lead guys. I've been doing always been a great leader by example, and I'm starting to be more vocal, and it's giving me an opportunity to just like showcase my skill set. Like I'm just a winning type guy. I just want to win, and I'm gonna do everything possible to help my team.
Coach, you've spoken about how Zay is one of the most coachable players you've ever had. Can you speak to what it's like to coach him?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, he never has a bad day. This is year 4 of me coaching him. Last player that I've inherited from Coach Cunningham's staff. So fortunate to have him. In reality, he is the same guy every single day. He's never comes in with his head down, not working hard in practice. Every day he's the same guy. Works hard, good teammate, great basketball player, never complains about a foul. The ultimate team guy that you want. If I could mold all 13 exactly like him and clone them, we would do it. But on top of that, he's a really, really talented basketball player, one of the most talented guys that I've coached. And so, he's a complete package, but the best thing is he's a better person than basketball player.
How do you feel that your trip to Costa Rica has helped your team?
I think the biggest thing, obviously we got the 10 practices, which is nice, but I think the biggest thing is the team bonding, the team chemistry. We did all the excursions, the whitewater rafting. It was like 16 miles down some of the most beautiful whitewater rapids anywhere in the world. To do that in 3.5 hours, you're moving pretty fast. And so it got guys out of their comfort zone. There were, I'm sure Zay can tell you, he was probably a little bit apprehensive, getting on the boat and rapids like that. A couple guys didn't want to go. They end up going and getting out of their comfort zone. And then they look back and they're like, that was one of the greatest days of my life. Going on the zip line, I don't like heights. If I wasn't there on a foreign tour, I would never go zip lining. But because all the guys are there and some of them are super excited, I want to do it. A couple of our guys didn't want to do that either, and I had to kind of talk them into it. And, again, they get out of their comfort zone. They let their guard down, and it just builds bonds. You've done something that you never would have done because you're going there. And just seeing the culture, we did 2 clinics with some of the youth there, and seeing these kids, you're not even speaking the same language, but they're so attentive. They want to get better. You look and it also makes you realize like how blessed you really are to grow up where we grow up and have the opportunities that we have. Seeing some of those kids who want to be in our players' shoes, but then you look down at their shoes and they got holes in them, and they're, but they're just so attentive and want to get better. It was a really, really memorable experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Zay, could you also share your experiences from that trip?
It was a great experience. We had a great time. It was a great time to jail with our teammates, get to learn each other, do a lot of things that we probably would have never done in a lifetime. And, just being able to do those things together, it created, like Coach said, it created bonds that would last forever. And it also helped us. It also helped us on the court because, we was able to get more practices in. We was able, to see how certain things work in a game situation, and it was also fun just learning about their culture and just seeing how bad the kids wanted to learn the stuff that we do, and just seeing how much pride they took in learning what we was doing.
Being from Birmingham and having been there when Coach Cross arrived, how meaningful is it for you to be part of this build of the Troy program and getting the program to where you want it to be?
It's like a great experience, just being a part of something, knowing when I first got to Troy, it wasn't as great as the way it was, but it kind of took off all. Then Coach Cross came in and rebuilt it, and he built the culture from day one. He believed in me, and most of my teammates all of my teammates, we believed in him. And last year you can see it started to pay off, all of the hard work, all of the practices, and everything that he preaches every day.
How have you seen yourself grow during that time, both as a basketball player, a leader, student athlete, all those things?
I I became more intense and more vocal. Like I came out my comfort zone a lot. Like coach used to get on me a lot because I was like a quiet kid and like I didn't like talk a lot or like I wasn't very loud. And like now I'm more loud, more vocal, and like as you like most of my teammates look at me like to lead drills and stuff. So like I feel like I got better in like certain aspects.
Zay,
Here in the Bank Plus studios, it's the Troy Trojans and head coach Scott Cross and all-conference forward Zay Williams. Guys, thanks a lot for being with us. How you doing today?
Doing great, thank you.
You know, it's hard to believe, Scott, that this is your fourth season at Troy. Wow, things have really flown by really fast. But season 3 was a breakthrough season for you guys. 20 wins, got to the semifinals of the Sun Belt tournament. I think all these things were like first time since 2017 they had happened. You played in a postseason tournament first time in 5 years as well. You feel like you've built momentum in the program.
Yeah, I think we finally have it going in the right direction. We thought it was going to happen a lot sooner, but obviously the Sun Belt's a very good basketball league. But I think there is some fan excitement. What we have returning, you can just kind of feel it throughout the program, and so we can't wait to get it started here.
Well, you actually got it started during the summer. Took a trip to Costa Rica, which is always a big benefit to any team. You get those 10 practices, you get the trip, you get the bonding, the basketball and the bonding kind of stuff. What was that experience like for your team?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I'm so thankful for our Chancellor, Dr. Hawkins, and my boss, Brent Jones. I mean, to be able to go there and spend that time together with our guys, I think the most important thing is the team bonding. I mean, we went whitewater rafting. I think we went like 13 and a half miles down some of the best rapids anywhere in the world. We went zip lining. We did ATVs. You know, you're eating every meal together. You just can't help but grow closer as a basketball team when you spend that much time together.
So, Zay, what was the experience like in Costa Rica for you?
It was a great experience. I had a chance to gel with my teammates. We had a chance to like get real practices in, and just like being able to spend like quality time with each other and get to learn each other. Okay,
so what was the most fun thing for you? Was the whitewater rapids, the zip lining, the eating? What was it?
I would say the whitewater rafting.
Yeah. Whitewater. That's a crazy thing right there. You go out, you got to wear the helmet and the whole thing. It's a lot of fun, no doubt about that. And on top of that, you guys go 3-0 on the trip and won by a combined 100 points.
Yeah, it was that aspect is great too. I mean, when you go on those trips, obviously you want to win games. You want to be able to play your entire roster. You're trying different things out. You want everybody to have success and feel good. And I think we accomplished those things. So it was definitely a win-win all the way around.
Well, you bring Zay to Sun Belt Media Day with you. I think that speaks volumes, what you think about what he's done in his career and what you think he's going to do this season. He earns all Sun Belt honors, average around 8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. I think he's number 5 on the career rebounds list for Troy, tied for 7th in blocks. Those are the numbers. Tell us what the coach sees in Zay Williams.
Yeah, so he's the last guy on the roster that we actually inherited, and I'm so thankful to have him on the roster. I mean, he's on my Mount Rushmore of most favorite players I've ever coached. I mean, he doesn't have a bad day. Every single day he's the same guy in practice. He's yes sir, no sir. He works hard. He's a great teammate. He's a great basketball player. I mean, he's what you want every single one of the guys to be. And so he's a great leader by example. He's even getting out of his comfort zone and leading by with some of his words as well. And so I'm excited about the future for him.
Coach Cross's Mount Rushmore, that's pretty big stuff. Talk about your decision coming out of Parker High School in Birmingham. So you're an Alabama guy, an Alabama State guy. Your decision to go to Troy and keep your career at Troy in a day and age when a lot of guys jump when things just don't go right.
I would say just like the environment. I love being in Troy, and I love my coaches too, and I love like playing for Coach Cross. Like I can tell like he'll run through a wall for me, and I'll do the same for him.
And happy birthday. You're going to be 23 in 3 days, so an early happy birthday to you. What's your expectations for this season? Last year, like we said, breakthrough season for the Trojans. You guys experienced some success for the first time in a while, and it was a lot of fun to watch you play.
Yes, sir. The goals are basically the same. We want to achieve the same goals that we had last year, which is like win 20-plus games, win the Sun Belt Championship, and go to the March Madness.
And, we talked about, the rebounding record. You're number 5, number 7 in blocks. But you're sneaky good on the three, 41% on your three-point shot. Maybe you ought to let it fly a little bit more, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the goal. I work hard every day on it, just getting extra shots and, getting a lot of repetition in.
You holding him back, Coach, or you letting him?
I might be holding him back. No, I encourage him because,
Yeah.
He puts in the time. I think, he's a good shooter, and then he also, he's selective, so he's taking the right ones.
17 of 41.
That's what you want from a player, a guy that's going to be super, super efficient.
Another one of your returning guys is sophomore guard Duke Miles. 8 points per game, led the team in steals last year.
Yeah, I think he's a guy, if you look at it, if he hadn't had the injuries, I think he would have had a chance to lead the country in steals. I mean, he's a thief defensively and a very, very good point guard. Just a great all-around basketball player that makes us go.
And when I think of Scott Cross teams all the years I've seen you play, that's one of the things that stands out. You usually got guys that can go out there and get the ball and get it going the other way.
Yeah, I think this team is going to be the closest to that of teams, that I've had in the past, playing fast, getting after it, creating a lot of turnovers. We've tried to do that in the past, but we're going to be a little bit longer, a little bit more athletic. We lost a little bit of our bulk from last year, but these guys, I think they will fly around defensively.
Well, like everybody else in the world, you got to get in the transfer portal. That's just the way things are this day. I think Coach Cliff Ellis said it best. It's either flight or fight. You either got to run from it or you're going to get in there and fight for it just like everybody else. Lubbock Christian transfer, Amir Muhammad, one of the guys you bring in, D2 star, averaged 15 points per game.
Yeah, so I watched him on film, I watched 4 or 5 of his games, and watching them, I had a great feeling about him. He does everything that you're looking for. He can pass it, he can shoot it, he can dribble it. He was a sneaky good defender, just a great, great all-around player. And so we, decided to give him an offer. A lot of times the Division II NAI guys don't get recruited as heavily, but in practice, he's been one of our best all-around players, and he's really, really good.
I would think one of the challenges, though, with an NAIA or a D2 guy, a lower division guy, is, what's the level of competition he's going up against? He might look good on tape, so to speak, but how good was the competition he was playing?
Yeah, I mean, that league that he's in, that Division II league, is very, very close to some of the lower Division I leagues, and so we thought it would translate, and then, seeing him in practice, it definitely has translated.
Another guy you bring in is guard Darius McNeil. Started his career at Cal, TCU, and then last year he was at Texas San Antonio, an area you're very familiar with.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a combo guard. I mean, he started as a freshman and sophomore at Cal. He's a gym rat. Both him and Amir, every single day they're in there working on their game extra. He's a great leader. So, yeah, we're super excited. I mean, that's a great backcourt combination to have those two guys coming in.
And you get a Georgia State transfer as well in Nelson Phillips.
Yeah, so, we remember scouting against him, and he was always a guy that definitely gave our staff concern because he could shoot the three. He was very, very athletic. Watching him in practice, I think the thing he does best is offensive rebound. I think he may be the best offensive rebounder that I've ever coached. I mean, it's almost impossible to block him out, and he's relentless going in there. He's a guy that, could have a chance of maybe leading the league in offensive rebounds at a small forward position.
Yeah, and I think that's funny because just as we were watching it from the Bunker Club and Coach Mark Byington was talking about rebounding, he was saying, it's not just your bigs that got to get the rebounds. Your guards and your small forwards need to be able to go and get some rebounds.
Yeah, without a doubt. When your guards rebound, you're probably going to be a good rebounding team. He's absolutely right on that quote. So, last year we were big and physically strong. We lost a little bit of that, so we're going to need all 5 guys.
All right, let's take a look at your schedule. We'll take a look at your Sun Belt Conference schedule, and while we do that, I'll hit some of the highlights in the non-conference. You're on the road, Florida State, Arkansas, going to Montana, San Diego State, going to get some frequent flyer miles. Mercer's coming to your place, and that's always a very tough mid-major to have in your building. And then you open on the road at Southern Miss and at Texas State.
Yeah, so, Obviously very tough all-around schedule. I mean, the Sun Belt's as good as it's ever been, in my opinion. The teams that we brought in are very, very talented, good teams. There's no easy game. As I'm trying to rank the teams 1 through 14, I can't do it, So, again, I think any team on any given night can win. And so it's going to be a fun, exciting year for the Sun Belt.
Yeah, I think you guys were picked 10th, picked to finish 10th. And like I was talking with Coach Mike Bellato, his team was picked 12th. I think it's wide open. I mean, even a team 10th, 12th, I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing in the final of the tournament come March.
Without a doubt. You ask me who I would want to play, there's nobody I'd want to play, and I think that can be said all the way around the league.
Well, Coach Cross, thanks a lot for being with us. Exciting to see you again. Zay, congratulations on a great career thus far. Looking forward to a big season from you as you chase some records and, more importantly, try to stack some wins, okay?
Yes, sir.
Zay Williams and Scott Cross, they're headed down to the Bunker Club, so stick around after the timeout. They're going to be down there speaking with the media in that part of the Louisiana Superdome. And coming up here in the Bank Plus studios, it'll be the ULM Warhawks just ahead.